Hi, I'm Ziggy Klein. This is a tribute to Toni and Ilse. I'm one of a few old-timers around that had the privilege to ski and work with Toni and Ilse. Toni was a pioneer of ski teaching and was a contributing member of the original PSIA. Toni and Ilse came to Aspen in 1950. In 1961, Toni and Ilse were lured to Red River, and together they bought the Stokes E. Bolton Motel. They expanded it, added a restaurant, bar, and ski rental, renamed it the Alpine Lodge.
Good morning. My name is George Warndall. I live in Red River, and I thought I might give you an introduction to the early history of my mom and dad, Toni and Ilse Warndall, who are being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Toni was born in 1915 in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Bavaria, Germany. Ilse, my mother, was born in 1920 in Stuttgart, Germany. After World War II, they met. Grandparents thought Toni was, being a mountain man was not good enough for their society daughter. But it did work out and everybody was happy. But Toni always was teaching people. Anybody he'd ride with on the chairlift or saw skiing down the mountain, he would stop them and talk to them and give them pointers and basically give them a free lesson. As long as there was a patch of snow on the mountain, he would be up there running gates.
I'm Fritz Davis. I first came to Red River in 1978. Ilse hired me to play Chubby's Tavern, and that's how I got to know her real well. Delightful, delightful. Ilse was one of those magical people in your lives that, you know, they come along and they just are incredible. And I remember the first time I saw her ski coming down the mountain, and I don't know how old she was at the time, but here she was, just so graceful. And she said, yes, you would have liked to have seen Toni ski. And I've since seen videos of Toni on skis. It was a remarkable sight. There's so many things, her walking around town with her ski poles, which we now have in the museum here. And she liked people a lot. Oh, I love to hear her talk. Oh, it was fascinating. It was just great. It was very, it was beautiful.
And the dining room pretty much to themselves. Here said the Johnson party, and here said the Secret Service.
You know, she was just fun to listen to and fun to talk with. And she was always easy to talk with.
I'm going to read a note from Ilse Warndall about the famous Ed Ivor ski patch. Ilse designed a triangle with a skier coming down on the tail of a big R. However, the public kept asking, who is Ed Ivor? We eventually came up with the big story that Ed was an old miner who had got killed in an avalanche. This is a story about the worst torchlight parade that Red River ever had. As I was tending bar at the Red Onion for Ilse, I served what our normal Saturday night warm-up special was, a snot of shops. People skied into the trees, men on tandem skis fell and couldn't get back up, and the lights going past the clock tower, that is Paul George Lacombe, who ended up in the Red River. We found out after no one came back to the bar, out of embarrassment, that we had actually been serving 180 proof schnapps.
Hi, my name is Ed Hampton. I'm so honored and privileged to be able to speak about Toni and Ilse and the impact that they had on my life. I'm so excited to see them finally being inducted. I think it's been a long time coming. I was going for my full certification for ski instruction, and I'd been working on it for 4 years. So I called Toni and I asked him if he would just go ski with me. At the end of the day, I said, well, Toni, what do you think? I mean, what do you think I need to work on? And And he made a statement that stuck with me all my life, and he just said, "Ed, tell me why it is that you ski." And I said, "Well, I love to ski, I love teaching." And he says, "Well, that's interesting," because he said, "I've skied with you all day long and I haven't seen you smile once." He goes, "You've done the work, you're prepared." He said, "Just go and have fun." And I took his advice, and it was really life-changing for me, for my whole career in the ski industry. So I'm so grateful for both of them and all that they've done in our lives, and for this community, and really for Ski New Mexico as well. As far as Ilse, she was, like I said, she was kind of like a second mom to me. But I remember after Toni passed away and she began to get older, Ilse would walk the town. She would just walk miles and miles. And I remember what an inspiration to me that was as a young man, watching her and thinking, you know, that's what I want to do as I get older. I want to be able to be active. And she just loved, both her and Toni, they just loved life. We'd go up to the top of the ski area and they'd walk us around and show us what mushrooms and different things. And Ilse's love for life was it just radiated out of her. And I really loved her, and I appreciated that in her.
My name is Judy Miller, and we have known Ilse and Toni Werndl ever since we came to Red River, which was 56 years ago. There's a special memory I have because the very first place we went to the Alpine Lodge's restaurant for dinner that night, because that was the only place open at the time. And so we met Ilse, and as I say, it was a special memory. Ilse was very wise. She was always giving just the most marvelous advice for someone who was raising a young family. She really did have a unique wisdom, I thought.
Well, Toni and I did a lot of mountain climbing, not only Wheeler Peak, Gold Hill, but just over the border in Colorado. We did the Traverse. Took about 4 hours to go a half a mile. It was strictly up on one side, straight down on the other side.
And then Toni, he was incredible. He could do anything, especially on skis. He was just marvelous. And he'd say, "Come on, I'll race you to the bottom." And I'd look down, and he was already at the bottom, and I hadn't even started down the hill.
I'm Linda Miller. I grew up in Red River, and I was raised on skis. And so the story I have of Toni specifically is, you know, last run, typically the ski patrol gets last chair, and somehow Toni snuck on after ski patrol, and so the lift shut down with Toni still on the chair. And the story is that to alert people that he was still on the chair, he started yodeling, and so he was heard because it traveled throughout the valley. They were pioneers in so many respects. Ilse was the first place in town to sell skateboards, which was I thought pretty bold. And then Toni had he would go up to the upper Red River Valley up West Fork and set up gates after the ski area was closed so that people could still run gates, the hardcore ski racers.
It was people like Toni and Ilse that turned this into a skiing community, made this a place where people could come and enjoy themselves.
They would never have been expecting to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, but it is a great honor, and I think they would appreciate that now. Although, like I say, they never expected that or thought it was something that they deserved.
Toni and Ilse left their mark in skiing and hospitality from Aspen to Red River and beyond. We are very happy you received your due recognition by being inducted into the New Mexico Ski Hall of Fame.